My background is as an actress and also as a writer. I did a Bachelor of Arts degree a long time ago, and then I went on to do stage management with the Black Theatre Co-op. That was back in 1984. And I also had a small acting role in that. And then I did some theatre in education in Birmingham for some time, and then came back to London, did a lot of community theatre. And then I landed a role on television doing a presenting job with a programme called Playdays for Children, the BBC. I did that for 9 years, and then after that I decided to move back to Bradford, which is where I'm from, which is where I was born. My parents are from Dominica. And so then I did a lot more of my writing, and I was able to do some small acting roles on TV, did a few things like with Casualty and EastEnders and small roles in continuing dramas. Since then I've done a lot more writing, so my background is more in the writing side now. Well, I got a telephone call from Luke Burnett, the writer and director, and he sent me the script, and I looked at the script, and I was interested in the script, but more interested in the fact that he'd sent me the script and he wanted to develop it and write and get it produced, and he was doing it himself. And that made me go back to my early days when I first started writing, wanted to make my own films, but spent a lot of time doing draft after draft after draft on paper, but only had, I think, two that were made. I saw that for somebody to do that, it made me think, well, it's time now that our films didn't wait for producers to come along out of the blue to get things made.
Damn it! All right, all right. Have you got it?
Oh no.
Yeah,
You've got two of them anyway.
Okay.
But we had to just get off our backs and make these films ourselves in order for us to progress, in order for us to improve, in order for our work to be out there along with other stuff as well. And so I was inspired by that. The character, she is... one of the things I thought about when Luke approached me with the character was, but she's old and I'm not an old woman. And then I had to really sit back and think about it. And then actually, it was a wake-up call for me to realise that I'm no longer, because back in the day before I took the writing more seriously, I was playing all the young roles. I would have been playing the daughter, I'd have been playing maybe a child sometimes, although it was a lot younger than I was. So that for me was the first thing of trying to get my head around the fact that I was playing an older woman, but not just an older woman, but somebody that I recognised more as my mother, which was in her 70s, 80s. And so then I started to try to get under the skin of that character and look at that character as a woman who no longer could do the things that she could do when she was younger, and that can apply to any person. And the fact that that woman who had been a mother and grown up her children then had to depend on her child to look after her, I could relate to that. And I saw my mother get ill. And so I was able to try to actually see my mother from a different point of view and get under her skin and see what she was going through when my whole family were looking after her. We should watch Family Ties because this is a story that needs to be out there. A lot of our stories are not out there, and the more stories that we can get out there on film for people to see, the more that we can make bigger films. In England, it's happening in the States a little bit more now, but I think we've still got a long way to go, and I think this film in particular has a story that I'm interested in as a woman, as a mother, and I'm sure whatever race you are, whatever gender you are, you'll understand it because you'll be able to empathise with the characters. My name is Trish Cooke and the character is called Mother.